Welcome, everyone. One of the best ways to prepare for the IELTS speaking test is to see it in action. That's exactly what we're doing today with this complete mock test from Spinta. As you listen, think about what the candidate does well and where they could improve. Afterwards, we'll compare notes with a full performance breakdown. Let's begin. Good morning. My name is Jennifer, and I will be your examiner today. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Of course, my name is Liam Smith.
Thank you, Liam. And what should I call you?
You can just call me Liam.
Great. Now let's talk about where you're from. Can you describe your hometown?
Sure. I come from a town called Bexley. It's a small suburban area near London. There are nice parks and a river running through it, which I enjoy. It's peaceful, but also not too far from the city, which is convenient.
That sounds lovely. How long have you lived there?
I've lived there my entire life actually, which is about 22 years now. I've seen it grow over the years with new shops opening and more families moving in.
Interesting. How do you feel about living there?
I really like it. It's familiar and comfortable. However, sometimes I wish there were more activities or events happening, but I guess that's just a downside of a smaller town.
I see. Let's move on to talk about your studies. What are you currently studying?
I'm studying for a degree in business administration at the university.
That's a popular choice. What made you choose that field?
Well, I've always been interested in how businesses operate and how to manage them effectively. Plus, it provides various career options after graduation.
What specific areas of business are you most interested in?
I think marketing intrigues me the most. It's fascinating to see how companies interact with customers. I enjoy understanding consumer behavior.
That's interesting. Let's shift topics a bit. Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I actually enjoy playing football. I've been playing since I was a child.
How often do you get to play?
I try to play at least twice a week, usually with friends after work or during the weekends. It helps me relax and stay fit.
That sounds fun. Do you watch football as well?
Absolutely. I love watching the Premier League on weekends. My favorite team is Manchester United.
I see you're quite a fan. Let's discuss your daily routine. What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, on weekdays I usually wake up early, around 7 a.m. After breakfast, I head off to university or work, depending on the day. Then, I either attend classes, do assignments, or work on group projects.
That sounds busy. What do you do in your free time after that?
In my free time, I usually catch up on assignments or play football. Sometimes, I hang out with friends and watch movies.
Sounds balanced. Now let's talk about the future. What are your plans after graduating?
I hope to find a job in marketing or within a startup. I think it's exciting, and there's a lot of growth opportunities there.
That sounds exciting. Do you have a specific company in mind?
Not yet, but I'm keeping an eye on a few companies, especially those known for their innovative marketing strategies.
Okay, let's move to part 2 now. Here's a task card for you. I'd like you to talk about a memorable trip you've taken. You have 1 minute to prepare, and then I'll ask you to speak for 1 to 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you.
Your time is up. Please begin.
One of my most memorable trips was to Italy last summer. It was a dream come true to visit the country I've always wanted to see. My family and I traveled to Rome, Florence, and Venice. Each city had its own charm. I particularly loved Rome because of its rich history. We visited the Colosseum and the Vatican, and I was amazed by the architecture and history. I remember standing in front of the Colosseum, imagining what it would have been like during ancient gladiatorial fights. The food was also incredible. I couldn't get enough of the pasta and pizza. In Florence, we saw beautiful art at the Uffizi Gallery, which was breathtaking. My sister and I even tried gelato, which was so delicious. Overall, the trip was filled with laughter, exploration, and it truly brought my family closer together.
It sounds like a fantastic trip. What was your favorite part of the trip?
I think my favorite part was visiting the Vatican. It's such an important place, and walking through the halls filled with art was awe-inspiring.
That's interesting. What would you say is the most important thing to plan for a trip like that?
I believe planning the itinerary is crucial. You want to make sure you get to see all the must-visit places without rushing. Also, it helps to check the opening hours in advance.
Great advice. Moving on to part 3, let's discuss travel. Why do you think people travel?
I think people travel for various reasons: to relax, explore new cultures, and satisfy their curiosity about the world. Traveling can open your mind to different perspectives and experiences.
Absolutely. How has travel changed in the last few decades?
Well, I think it's become more accessible with budget airlines and online booking. People can now travel to places that were once considered costly or distant more easily.
Do you believe that frequent travel has a negative impact on the environment?
Yes, for sure. The more people travel, the more carbon emissions increase, especially from flights. It's important to find ways to travel sustainably, like using public transport or choosing eco-friendly accommodations.
Good point. Do you think cultural exchange is an important aspect of travel?
Definitely. Cultural exchange enriches both the traveler and the local community. It promotes understanding and tolerance, making the world seem smaller and more connected.
That's an insightful perspective. How do you think social media influences travel?
Social media plays a big role in shaping travel trends. It influences where people go based on popular posts. Sometimes, it even pressures individuals to visit specific places just to share their experiences online.
I understand. It's fascinating how technology impacts our choices. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you, Liam, for sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
The candidate demonstrated a good level of fluency and coherence throughout the test. Liam was able to articulate his thoughts clearly, although at times he hesitated slightly, seeking the right words. His responses generally flowed well, showing logical progression, but did contain some moments of repetition. In terms of vocabulary range, he used an adequate variety of terms relevant to his experiences and opinions, although some phrases were quite basic without more nuanced vocabulary or expressions. His grammatical range was fair, with a mix of simple and complex sentences. However, there were minor errors in verb tense with singular/plural forms. Pronunciation was generally clear, though he occasionally spoke a bit quickly, which sometimes affected clarity. Overall, his performance falls within the estimated band score range of 6.5 to 7.0. Liam's strengths lie in his ability to express personal views and provide relevant examples, while he can enhance his performance by expanding his vocabulary and being more confident in his response structure. Thank you for practicing with this IELTS speaking mock test. Visit Spinta for more comprehensive mock tests and personalized feedback to boost your IELTS score.